I'm David. There are several DTCs that can be logged by a crankshaft position sensor and its associated circuits. In this video, I'll be looking at P0337, crankshaft position sensor signal circuit voltage low. The information, graphics and diagrams in this video are typical of most systems. Make sure you have the correct information for your vehicle. Here is a typical schematic for a crankshaft position sensor. There is a 5-volt reference, a low reference, and a signal circuit going to a pull-up resistor. As the crankshaft rotates, a square wave is produced. The frequency of the sensor signal depends on the speed of the crankshaft. With the engine running, observe the scan tool data. It is best to use a graph mode if available. An oscilloscope can also be used for this. Look for any faults in the pattern, extra pulses, missing pulses, or a missing reference gap. If available, check the freeze frame data to see the conditions under which the fault occurred. The fault table indicates that a P0337 is caused by a short to ground on the signal circuit. Before commencing any diagnosis, check the battery voltage. To start the diagnosis, disconnect the sensor. I'll start by checking the low reference. A digital multimeter is connected between the low reference terminal of the sensor connector and battery positive. Turn on the ignition. You should see battery voltage. Connect the meter between the sensor connector 5-volt reference terminal and battery negative and turn the ignition back on. The voltage reading should be 4.8 to 5.2 volts. If either of these voltages are not correct, then you would need to refer to the diagnosis for P0335 and P0336. The diagnosis of the signal wire can now proceed. With the sensor disconnected and the ignition off, connect the meter between the sensor connector 5-volt reference terminal and battery negative. The voltage reading should be 4.8 to 5.2 volts. No voltage would indicate an open circuit or a short to ground. If the voltage is correct, then the sensor will be the fault. Move the meter lead from battery negative to positive. A short to ground will be indicated by a battery voltage reading. Turn off the ignition, disconnect the ECM, turn on the ignition and retest. A short to ground in the harness will be the cause if battery voltage is still present. No voltage will indicate an ECM fault or a short to another circuit coming from the ECM. To eliminate or confirm a short to another circuit, turn off the ignition, set the meter to ohms, and check for continuity between all the terminals in the ECM other than the signal circuit and the sensor signal connector terminal. If a fault is not found here, then the ECM will have an internal short to ground. That's the diagnosis testing of P0337. Work through the procedure. There are no shortcuts. And remember, training is knowledge. The knowledge to keep you ahead of the game. Bye for now.